Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, and welcome to this edition of the EGU podcast for awakening and emerging entrepreneurs to help you thrive in mindset, energy, business, and all things spiritual. You're with Michelle Reinhardt, creator of this amazing show, as well as Self and Soul Mastery for Abundance Seekers and the online community hub Entrepreneurs Globally Unite. And today's guest, her creativity will blow your mind as she helps to propel your vision into reality and stand out from the crowd in an overcrowded marketplace of online entrepreneurs. She teaches and empowers her clients to find their voice of truth, build a firm foundation for their business, and how to create a strong online presence that stands out to attract clients. It is a great pleasure to welcome you to the show, Melanie Midegs. Welcome, honey.
Hi, how are you? Thank you so much for having me.
I am awesome, thank you, and it is my pleasure. Melanie's baby is the business chakra system and chakra philosophy for the modern world, which is what we're discussing today, how business is changing and why it's important for you to understand your business chakra system. So settle in, guys and gals, turn off your zings and pings, breathe out, and join us for 20 or so minutes right through to the end, because you're going to want to get your hands on the free gift that she's offering. Melanie, tell me a little bit about you. Why do you do this? How did this all happen for you?
Yeah, how did this all happen? Oh, I almost don't know where to start. And it's something that I'm actually really starting to start sharing, like the true story. I think a lot of the time when people that come into the personal development and healing world, we want to help other people, but we forget to tell the story of why we're really doing that. Like, what's the real why behind it? And for me, it's because during my 20s, I actually was experiencing a lot of addiction in a number of different ways that I'm just starting to share about that story. But what happened was basically got to a breaking point and I was searching for something to help me. I kind of make it sound a bit more simple than what it was, because it wasn't a very nice period of my life. It was around 29 years old, and it was when I started to really delve into like natural therapies, and I became a massage therapist, studied kinesiology, and then I came across eventually psychosomatic therapy, which is what I'm trained in, and learnt extensively and very deeply about the chakra system. And it was the chakra system that allowed me to understand myself on a whole new level. Instead of sort of grasping for the outside world for something to make me feel better, I was understanding how I needed to do that for myself and why I was doing the behaviors that I was doing. Yeah, so for me, it's been such a phenomenal framework to have worked with over the last 10 years to get me where I am now.
Wow. I always say that our toughest lessons are our greatest stories, and they're certainly what mold and shape us into the business owners and the women and men that we are today. Now, Melanie, you're a business mentor, a web designer and creator of 2 online courses. How have you found that business is changing? Because it certainly is.
Yeah, I think it's a really exciting time for those that want to create their own business. It's changing because I think the tools that are available to us are now available to everybody. Both work from our own homes, in our own offices that we've created. No longer do you need a bricks and mortar location to run a business from. And with that, you can actually reach the world on a whole global scale as well, like very easily. How it's changing though is I just feel like the marketing aspect has changed a lot. It's more about really connecting, and people need to learn how to connect more. But to be able to connect more with their audience, they need to be able to connect more with themselves. And
so
that
true.
Sometimes is the past. Yeah. And that's sometimes the piece that's really missing, because people go, oh, I'm going to go and create this business, and it kind of becomes a little bit money orientated, or they kind of start bypassing the real reason why they started in the first place.
That's a really, really good point. So what is a business chakra system?
So the business chakra system, how I founded this and how I created it was that I was over here in Bali in Indonesia, and I was like, okay, I really wanted to create an online aspect of my business. I was face-to-face before that. And I kept experiencing the same kind of scenario of this feast and famine, and just not being able to get ahead when it comes to like my business growth and like gaining some momentum. And I remember one time, or this particular time, I was sitting at the front of my villa crying again in despair, just like, what the hell is going on?
Sorry to laugh, but gee, I've been there.
Oh, I mean, I'm sure we've all been there. I'm sure even people that listen to your podcast have been there, absolutely. And then I just stopped. I had my cry and I stopped and I was like, what do you know really well? And I was like, I know the chakra system really well. And so I was like, okay, I get how that plays out in my body, but how does that play out in my business? And I thought about, the first one I thought about was the base chakra. And I was like, well, what would be my base chakra of my business? And then I was like, well, it would probably be my ideal customer, having really clear goals and understanding my cash flow and what was needed to be created from that point of view. I was like, oh, and because I think when you get into those emotional overwhelmed states, it can be difficult to know what to work on first to actually get back into the game. And I found that through identifying different aspects of business and how it related to the different chakra energies was how I got back into the game. And it really made sense because it's all about how I'm feeling about my business, how I'm feeling in all different kind of ways, and then how that is represented in terms of me getting out there and sharing about what I do. It's how it was born.
That's gorgeous. I love that. And as soon as you said base chakra, I got a hit in my base chakra. And I know the energy systems of the physical body, but I've never thought of matching it to the business, to my business. And it makes perfect sense. I'm going to ask you a little bit more about that. But my first question is the business chakra system the same as the human system?
From an energetic point of view, yes. Because I believe there's no separation between you and your business. Some people say, yes, there's separation. I don't believe that. I believe the energy that you're holding in yourself will be represented in how it's performing in the real world. So, I mean, when I talk about the chakras in the business, it's of a very more practical point of view, but the energy behind, and you'll know when I explain it to you, the energy behind that is most definitely related to your own personal chakra system.
All right, I think we've held everyone in suspense for long enough. Let's go. Grab your pens and papers, guys and girls, and I will also put an image of this into the show notes so that you can, if you're looking at it on my website, you can actually see. And you'll also, if you jump into our community at Entrepreneurs Globally Unite, you'll be able to search Melanie Midegs and this post with this image will come up. You're not a great visualizer. Just sink into what we're saying and feel it, because I promise you, you will. Let's go. How do we describe this?
Yeah, so, okay, what I'll do is I'll just go through basically the practical elements of the business chakra system and how it relates to your chakra energies. I'm assuming that most of your audience probably has some idea about the chakra system, but I'll touch on it a little bit as we go. As I said before, the base chakra, this is how you feel supported in life, and it's your connection to community and your family on a personal level. So from a business aspect, I really this is your business foundation. This is the roots of your business. They need to be really firm. They need to be really strong so your business can survive through any type of storm that might come. And so those three elements of your ideal customer, having really clear goals and knowing what your cash flow and revenue situation needs to be, which is really difficult, I find, for healers, therapists, and spiritual mentors. Those types of people tend to be up in the upper chakras a lot, and they find it difficult to ground themselves. And that's why I find that this just helps them to go, okay, I need to just pull this together a little bit in this area.
Yeah, because the reality is if we don't know where we're going, we have no hope of getting there.
Yeah, that's it. Exactly. It is true. As much as we like to go with the flow, we need a little bit of structure.
Yeah, we do. That's the masculine energy, isn't it? That's the base. Yep. Ideal customer, clear goals and cash flows.
Yeah. So your sacral chakra is all about your branding. So when you think about your sacral chakra, this is the element of joy and pleasure and ecstasy and creativity and abundance and well-being. It's like our pleasure center within our body even. It's around your reproductive area. For me, it relates to your business branding because you've got to love it. Like if you don't love what your business represents and how you're presenting it and what it looks like and how it makes people feel, it's going to hinder your confidence with actually sharing it with other people. So if you love it to pieces and it's like the most sexiest thing that you've ever seen in your life, you're going to go up to someone and go, hey, have you checked out my website? I've got XYZ. This is what I do. Like, it just makes the whole process so much more easier. It's just automatic rather than, because a lot of people too, like always saying, oh, I'm feeling lack of confidence to really step out and, you know, show my face on Facebook or Instagram or share about my business. When you love your branding, it becomes a hell of a lot easier.
It does. It does. I can absolutely relate and agree to that completely. Once I've got my website done professionally with a gorgeous branding palette, it makes everything so much quicker and easier too. And every time anyone sees anything of you, they start to relate to who you are by your colours, and really important.
Yep. I know I've only got a short amount of time, so maybe I'll keep going, and if you have any other questions, we'll come back. So the next one is your solar plexus. So your solar plexus in your personal chakra system is all about your confidence and being able to step out into the world and bring your personal power out to share with the world what you believe in. So for me, this is all about your products and services. Products and services, a lot of the time, people get nervous about it because they're actually just not confident about it. My example always is when I studied my psychosomatic therapy training, psychosomatic therapist, part of that was learning how to do face reading. And I remember just going, oh my God, I love this so much. Like, I just really want to do it. And I was like, I have to make sure that I keep doing this so I get really, really good at it. And I took every single opportunity, like straight after my training, there was a Mind, Body, Spirit festival on in Brisbane at that time. And I jumped straight into, like, I was like volunteering. I was like, yep, I'll go and do face reading. And within a couple of weeks, I already was sitting there with like 60 face readings under my belt kind of thing. And then I did markets, and then I did everything. So I just became really, really good at it. So when you become really good at something, again, it's really easy to be confident about it. It's easy to talk about it. So with your products and services, that's what that kind of falls into. Just having really solid and good products and services behind you.
Love it. And of course, energy of the yellow is that fire, isn't it? That's the sun, the warmth, perfect. So we've got product, services and confidence.
And so those lower three chakras, solar plexus, sacral chakra and base chakra, they're the fundamental ones. Nothing above those three chakras, which I'm going to go through now, will work if you don't have those bottom three chakras really solid. Because as we move up, that's where we go into the communication and the marketing and the promotion. And what a lot of people tend to do is kind of skip those first three and go straight into like communicating and promoting and all these sorts of things. But it doesn't work because their bottom three chakras aren't solid. They're not, the energy isn't right in those three areas.
I'm loving this. This is just, this is amazing. Let's go. We're at the heart.
Yeah. So we're at the heart. The heart chakra is all about compassion and connection and really feeling it between you and your community around you and any other person that steps in your path kind of thing. And I purposely created the heart chakra as promotion because I know it's the number one thing that so many healers and therapists dislike is this whole feeling salesy, feeling like I have to promote, and I don't really like doing that. But in actual fact, all it is about is connection and just connecting and sharing information, and you're not feeling like you have to be salesy to do that. You can actually, just by sharing and telling stories and things, you can have that connection, and then that's how you can build your business. Yeah, the promotion is all about your heart, and the heart of your business is that you need to be able to promote your business. If you can't promote your business, you're going to struggle to keep it going.
Yeah, and that doesn't matter whether it's an online business or a bricks and mortar business. You've still got to be visible for people to know what you do.
Yeah.
And when you're shining from the heart, the authenticity is there, and then you've got that magnetism of that heart energy as well. So it makes the whole promotion much, much easier.
Yeah, absolutely. Mm-hmm. And it can feel really good. That's so often I have people who start working with me because they actually say, I just really love your energy. I know you're the right person to work with. That's like one of the first things they say, rather than talking necessarily about the strategy or whatever that's coming afterwards. If people can feel your energy through your promotional work, like, you're going to attract the right people.
Yeah, exactly right. Because not everyone is the right coach for everyone.
No.
We've got to feel into that, and we've got to get that alignment.
Yeah, and that's why there's so many of us. I mean, we're all unique people.
Absolutely. There's no competition.
Yeah. No, none at all.
None at all.
So the next chakra is our throat chakra. And this is all about communication, about how you communicate through your business, whether you're knowing the different ways to communicate and knowing what your zone of genius is to communicate as well, like what makes you feel good. It is also about speaking a truth, sharing a little bit of vulnerability. We were just sort of chatting a little bit beforehand, before the interview, about how our throat chakras are being a bit like, because this is where, emotions such as shame and that sort of thing can come up with throat chakra. And when I said to you at the beginning, I'm only just starting to share the true story behind the reason for me starting my business. Sometimes it can take time for these things to know when it's the right time to let that out. There's no right or wrong around it. But I'm finding the more that I share my vulnerabilities in a very balanced way, so not overly vulnerable all the time, but sharing my truth, it really actually helps for people to understand why it is that you're doing, but that connection, that heart chakra, starts really connecting as well, because people, they will have a little piece of their story in your story somewhere.
Yeah, love it.
So the next chakra is the brow chakra. For me, the brow chakra, we know this to be really connected to our intuition. And for me, this is all about leadership in a couple of different senses, as in leadership in how you can lead a tribe, how you can, really lead a following, how you can lead a movement, depending on what your vision kind of is. But also it's about personal leadership, taking responsibility for yourself, and yes, asking for help from the outside world, but then also being able to go inward and really listen to the voice inside of you. I'm sure there are plenty of your listeners, and I've gone through this as well, where we have seek that advice of what's the next step I need to take. And it hasn't really worked out right, because it's like we are all individuals, and what works for one person doesn't necessarily work for the other, for everyone. And it's just finding the tweaks and what you need to do for yourself to really get that going.
Yeah, I agree 100%. The intuitive side of it, you've got to go inside. You've got to use your puppy there.
Sorry about that.
That's all right. That's okay. The side, particularly being an entrepreneur, is vital to have tapped in and on, and that will make you unique as well.
Yeah, and I think that's the hardest thing when people start out too, because we've got to learn. So we need to learn different strategies and techniques of what to implement, but there will come a point where it's just like, I've got to start listening to myself. I've got to start listening to what's right for me and what it is that I want to create.
Yeah, and if people find that really hard at the start, go into your feelings. If it feels right and it feels light, then it's okay. It's good. If it feels heavy and sludgy and dodgy, then it always is.
Yes, exactly. I'm so glad you said that. So glad.
So now we're right up at the top.
Yes, the crown chakra. So the crown chakra for me is all about your higher vision. It's like your purpose, the reason why you're on this planet and what you want to create from there. It's your connection to source, universe, whatever you kind of identify with and want to call it. And it is big picture visioning. In business, I feel like there's always got maybe like 6-month plan, 12-month plan, 3, 5 years, even up to 10. And the crown chakra really is sort of more long-term visioning, like where are you going? Where do you want to take things with your business? And tuning into exactly what that is, because as much as the chakra system is a linear, like in our body, it's directly horizontal. In the business chakra system, I feel it's more like a cycle. So say I go to launch a new product or service, like I go through each of the chakra energies to align myself to that. And then at the end, there's the crown chakra, and it's where I'm starting to review and reflect on what that last cycle was, and then what might need to be tweaked in the next time around. Does that make sense?
It makes perfect sense. And I'm really glad you said that, because that just explains how to implement it so that you get the maximum advantage from everything you do within your business, taking it through the system.
Yes. And that's the thing, it doesn't matter if you're just starting out or you've been in business for 10 years. It just continually will help you to give you a framework of, okay, how is this aligned to me? Is this aligned to me? Like, is this aspect aligned to me? How can I tweak this so it's more in my zone and is making me feel good, rather than me feeling like I have to sludge through things? Because I've met so many people who've been in business for a really long time, and then they end up not like in their business. And it's not that that's not necessarily what they should be doing or what they want to do, but they just need to tweak some things in it so they feel better about it, and then they can keep moving on.
Exactly right. Now, I understand you've ran this business chakra workshop from the house that Mahatma Gandhi lived in. How was that received?
Oh, it was amazing. Yeah, I had this amazing opportunity earlier this year to go to South Africa, and I was in Johannesburg. I was actually doing a website for a client, and we decided to run a business chakra workshop while I was there. And she knew the people that ran this house that Mahatma Gandhi used to live in. I didn't even realize he was in Johannesburg for a little while. I knew he went to South Africa, but I don't know all of his history very well.
Sure.
And so when that came up, I was like, what? And I was standing in this room and everyone was at this table, and literally next to me there was a wall and there was like a loft bedroom above, and that's where he used to sleep. And so I'm standing there about to deliver this work, and I'm feeling his energy, and I'm like, he's just laying in bed listening to me talking about the business chakra system. It was one of the most, I don't have the right words to explain it. Like when you can be in a location like that delivering that type of information as well, like it was very special.
I just got goosebumps from top to toe, so
Yeah.
I got a feeling it was pretty special.
Yeah. And even more than that, what made that one particularly special was it actually wasn't, my audience wasn't healers and therapists and coaches. Actually, it was corporate people, like executives and from health industry, like health insurers. There was an editor of one of the most best read magazines in South Africa. So it was like a different caliber of people were there. And I'm glad I didn't know before I went into the workshop, I'll be really honest with you, because I said to my client, I was like, just don't tell me who's going to be there, just let them come in. And and I think this is why I know business is changing, because they were so receptive to understanding that by understanding themselves on a deeper level, they could shapeshift their projects, their work, their passion, their own vision of what they wanted to create. So it really was a reflection of who they are, and not having to do it in these other ways that felt a little bit boxy.
That's incredible, and I get that completely. So I've only got a little bit more time with you, so I want to squeeze just 3 little takeaways out of you from the business mentor, Melanie. 3 tips that you can give our listeners to summarize and to also implement immediately into their business so they can start living their business the way they deserve to.
I would say pay attention to how you're feeling, 100%. You can pay attention to how you're feeling and know how to either shift it or what changes you need to make to get yourself to a better emotional empowered place is essential. Don't think that that's secondary, that's actually primary to any type of strategy you're going to implement. If you're not good at marketing, learn how to be good at marketing. I think a lot of business owners they don't like it and they find it difficult, but it's the one thing that everyone needs to learn. And I've actually really mentored people that had no idea at the start, and now they're sending out beautiful newsletters, they're creating videos, all sorts of stuff. Anybody can learn it. Don't feel that you can't, you can, but you're going to have to put in a bit of hard yards to get how it works. And the third thing, you've just got to love what you do. I think, stop comparing. I remember when I first started the business chakra system, I decided to stop looking at everyone, because I was like, I actually want to create something unique. I don't want to be influenced by anyone. I don't want to accidentally pick anything up. I just wanted to create my own. And so, just trust yourself. Trust your ideas. Trust your crazy ideas. That's probably the thing that I want to say.
I like that too. And, the same thing happened for me when my course dropped in. I had stopped listening to shows, podcasts. I'd stopped reading books. I'd completely stopped looking outside of me, because I didn't want to be another version of somebody else's work.
Yes, exactly.
So
because that uniqueness gives you your voice, and it's igniting your solar plexus. It's igniting your sacral chakra as well, like throat chakra. When you own something and you know that that's your integral, authentic work, nothing can replace that.
And that gives you the compassion and the ability to be able to stand up and speak in public because you know it backwards better than anybody else.
Absolutely.
Yeah, take the time. Take the time. Melanie, it's been an absolute pleasure to share this space with you. I'd like to
keep talking for ages.
I know. We might have to do this again, I think.
Yeah.
I'd like to remind our listeners that if their life's not where they'd like it to be, take a step forward today. Celebrate the gift of life that's yours. You all have incredible power, and we want to encourage you to have the courage to use your gifts, your talents, your uniqueness. The shift begins within. Just one step, one action. We're both sitting here willing you to do it, with the support available to you if you need that from us. Melanie, where can people find you, honey, if they do choose to work with you?
Yeah, they can go to my website, which is seedtosoul.com.au, or you can find me on Facebook and Instagram.
Perfect.
Basically under Melanie Midegs, yeah.
Beautiful. And you've also have a gift for our guests.
I do. So if you do go to my website, you can opt into a free business chakra quiz. So basically with that quiz, you get an outline of the chakra system, and it asks you a number of questions to see how vital your energies are within your business, and you can see where the gaps are. And I actually do a little video for each one as well to just explain it in a bit more depth. So it's actually quite a comprehensive little quiz you can do to see where your business is at.
Fantastic. I'm going to go and do that.
Yeah.
So guys and girls, thank you very much for tuning in and giving us a slice of your day. You can find me, Michelle Reinhardt, at michellereinhardt.com.au, or find us both in community at Entrepreneurs Globally Unite Facebook community. Don't forget to subscribe to the show so you don't miss a gem. We come together each week and bring you a global expert on something pretty cool just like this. Melanie, thank you for the service you're bringing business owners and entrepreneurs, and doing it with such integrity and authenticity.
Oh, thank you, Michelle. It's been a real pleasure to be on your show today.
Well, that's it from us. Until next week, shine bright, superstars, and remember, that's why you're here. See you next week. Bye, Melanie.